If you know me or of me, you know I'm a PvP player. Free trials help on the weekend for those who can't reach a lighthouse by themselves. So what is a die-hard PvP player like me doing trying to attempt a solo Grandmaster Nightfall?
I have no idea.
During our Mana Weeks, Trials takes a hiatus. That means quick play and 6v6 PvP is all there is. And to be honest with you, I get bored very fast. So naturally, I thought, you know what? I'll try to challenge myself on the PvE side of the game.
That's scary stuff.
And with this being my first ever solo Grandmaster, I had a lot of work in front of me. Let's get to the loadout. I decided the best character for me would be Hunter. Why Hunter, you ask? Let me introduce you to Void Invisibility. With the new Void 3.0 changes that came during Witch Queen, Void Hunters are better than ever. I went with the Omniculous Eyes exotic armor to allow me to receive damage resistance while invisible. Pair that with the second smoke bomb you get and we have a nice all-around build. I was running Gambler's Dodge to help me get my smoke back if I dodge near an enemy to help me keep up my 100% uptime invisibility. Triple Jump since it's the best for PV, Vortex Nade for the nice pull and AoE effect, Vanishing Step and Trapper's Ambush are my two aspects. Paired with Echo of Persistence, Reprisal and Obscurity. Persistence increases my invis duration, which is always nice. The longer you invis, the longer you can play your life, play safe, and get in, get out. Reprisal, which gives my super energy a little bit faster when I'm surrounded by combatants. And last but not least, Obscurity. Finishing an enemy makes me invisible, so another way to make myself invisible, get in, get out, stay alive, and get my cooldowns back. And I paired that with the Lucent Hive Finisher armor mod you can get from this season's artifact, so every time I finish a champion, I went invisible, and I got a heavy ammo brick to drop.
Nice.
Weapon-wise, I went with Arbalest for the anti-barrier because it has intrinsic anti-barrier rounds, and for my main damage-dealing weapon, I went with the Insidious new full burst pulse rifle from the new VOW raid that came out during Witch Queen. As for my heavy, since I play a lot of trials and help you guys go flawless on the weekend, I have a lot of nice Reed's Regret, so I went with my Adept Reed's Regret with triple tap Vorpal as my main boss and champion dealing DPS weapon. The first day went not bad, to be completely honest with you. I died a couple times to literally getting one hit by a champion or an acolyte. It still went, honestly, for my very first day, it went not bad. That's when I saw my first flaw though. I didn't even have the right resist mods on. So after a lot of planning, Chad and me decided to go with one thermostatic and one sniper resist mods to make sure we never ever get one hit ever again. After a couple failed attempts, I actually managed to get to the boss room on my 4th ever try. This is where my very first serious attempt also ended. I was angry and disappointed. I figured that was the last one for the day, so we decided it was best for me to get some rest and go back in with a fresh and well-rested mind the next day. I woke up ready to make this GM mine. First section is pretty easy. A couple acolytes and a champion. Since I swapped my loadout, I had to approach champs a little different. Without Arbalest's high DPS potential, I was forced to take it slow with Le Monarch. Poison the champions until the barrier pops up, break said barrier and switch to my trusted linear to do the heavy lifting. Next up were the 2 ball stations in which I had to deposit. Here's where the big issue with my new loadout came up. Since I didn't have Arbalest anymore to one-shot the wizard's solar shields, I was screwed. It would take a good 2 minutes spamming Le Monarch for one wizard, and there were up to 6 in this encounter. The anti-barrier knights I was able to deal with, but the wizards were a problem. When it came to picking up the first ball, I decided to go to the left as I always do, killing all the acolytes in my way and leaving the major wizards for last. Seeing how it would take way too long, I opted out for using my tether on the wizards to speed things up. I got lucky. Once I tethered the wizard, she fell off the map, but I couldn't just rely on luck. But more on that later. I picked up the ball and moved a bit to make a new set of enemies spawn in, including another barrier knight. I dropped the ball to jump on top of a roof for the high ground and work on the ads. Once they have all been defeated, I pick up the ball and dunk it onto the right side. That's where another issue came up. An arc shielded knight. In previous attempts, I simply used my Arbalest to make quick work on him and get that stagger, so I was easily able to make quick work of him. Now, I only had my little poison bow. Slowly chipping away at his health and almost dying to it. I decided to skip him for now and move past him to work on the wizard. Luckily, I had my super up, so a quick tether and a couple linear shots sealed the deal. Deciding I still had no real means of melting the Arc Knight, I decided it's best if I just ignore him for now. I picked up the ball to make the next wave spawn in. Just like on the left side, I moved on top of the roof on the right side building to have the high ground and have easy line of sight towards the enemy. Knowing that some cursed thralls spawned in with the last wave, I decided to go invisible, move up to the beginning of the room and take him out slowly before they could cause any real threat or danger towards me. Now only the Arc Knight was left. Not taking any chances, I used my tether on him because he was a real pain in my butt. So he was finally down. I dunked the last ball to make the bridge come down, moved up a little bit to make the enemy spawn and immediately backed off to work on them from a safe distance. A big unstoppable ogre spawns in and I stun him with my hand cannon. I use Le Monarch to save some heavy ammo while also kiting the 2 Arc Melanites that were rushing me. me. Whenever I had some space and time, I put a little damage into them too. Further up, some more acolytes and a duo of wizards spawn in. The acolytes not really causing a real threat. The wizards were a different story. Using my super on one of them, I was able to take it down quick with some linear shots mixed in. The second wizard though didn't want to cooperate and kept evading me. A couple abilities and a lot of heavy ammo later, I was able to take her down as well. Next up was another anti-barrier, which I was able to kill slowly but safely from a distance, or so I thought. I got hit by one of his arc projectiles that didn't break my shield, so I wasn't in the red zone yet and thought, oh, hey, I didn't take enough damage. I can easily keep going. Big mistake, since one more shot connected and I was dead on the spot. Right then and there, I abandoned the Lemon Arc and swapped back to my trusted Arbalest and Arc Insidious. Even though the death hurt, it was what I needed to go back on what was working and not mess with my build from here on out. The rest of the attempts didn't go so well for me, so I came back the next day determined to get it done. And let me tell you, that day came. I was ready. I played it perfectly. First major room, I took my time, making sure to kill the anti-barrier first, then the acolytes and onto the thralls. I was zooming. Next up, the bridge. Flawlessly executed. Next on the list, the 3-plate room. I made sure not to rush anything and to trigger each plate one by one, making the wizards spawn, isolating them, killing them first before I dealt with any champions in that room. First plate, champion, no issue. Second plate, champion, again, no issue. Third plate, I had a little bit of trouble because the champion was hiding, but we got it done. I was on record pace. I realized how good of an attempt I was on, so I made sure to take my time. I made sure to trigger the thralls from a distance. With smart ammo management, I was able to breeze through also the bridge part, and now we're onto the elevator, the last thing before the boss. So, deciding not to take any risks whatsoever, I made sure to only step on the elevator when I had all my 3 abilities up, my dodge and my 2 smoke bombs, to never ever have to fight a single acolyte sitting on those windows. Invis on top, baby. First stop, middle door closed, left and right side wide open. The left side champion had it coming first.
Ooh. You're hard.
I used my super on him and my Arbalest to make quick work of him. The right side champion did not like that and went to hide behind the wizard. I knew exactly what to do. I waited till I saw a window for me to slip in and to make the wizard weak so I could use my finisher on her to go invisible. I did just that. After that, I made quick work of the last anti-barrier. I made sure I'm all reloaded and stepped on the elevator to my second stop. Left and right side barricaded with the middle now being open. Also an unstoppable ogre. Luckily, I saved my super and made good work on him and the surrounding ads. Using a finisher as well for heavy ammo to drop, as ammo management is crucial. To defeat the wizards left and right, it was a simple waiting game. Looking for a quick opportunity to get in one side and dash out some damage while quickly retreating to not get too greedy. I did just that, and now we're on to the last stop, the final boss. So here we are, the boss room. You might think to yourself, Scarlet Key boss fight can get pretty chaotic, even for a full team of 3. How was I going to manage to stay alive and while also dealing out damage to ultimately secure myself that sweet victory? Let me introduce you to the OOB, also called Out of Bounds. By pressing yourself against the gate where the boss comes out after you have defeated the 2 wizards, you can actually slip past the barrier and be completely safe to walk around. Once we are out, it only takes a couple well-timed jumps to get on top of the walls for a very nasty head glitch, and it's time to deal some damage. Is this Out of Bounds safe? Well, it's safer than being on the ground in the arena with the boss and all the ads, but don't get it twisted. You can just as easily get melted while you're up there, same as if you were in the arena. There are a couple of pillars you can rotate between to get a different angle on the boss. Remember, just because you're up there doesn't mean you're safe. The boss, the knights, the wizards, and the ogres will continuously shoot you and destroy you if you peek for just a second too long. Trust me, I speak from experience. To actually get around this issue, I went invis on one pillar to alert the enemies to my position, quickly rotated to another pillar, and had a couple of seconds of a window to deal some damage, while instantly going invis again and rotating left and right, just keeping aggro off me. Once all the ads are dead, I worked on the boss. After getting her down to 2/3 of her health, she goes immune and you can't damage her, but also she stops shooting you. More ads spawn, I work on them slowly but surely, always taking my time and making sure I'm in the correct position. Sometimes the enemies can hide from you, so you need to use your high ground and the pillars to your advantage while rotating around to get a different line of sight, while always looking out and paying attention to land on top of the pillars and not in between, which happened to me. I was told that once you fell, it was over. No way to get back up and no way to get back into the actual arena itself. I was devastated. All this hard work, all this time and dedication and meticulous planning for nothing. I'd have to start all over again from the beginning. Or did I? As it turns out, if you fall to the left of the gate where I fell, you were able to jump on a door that was not there. It looks like a wall, but you can actually land on top of it, and with some well-timed jumps, I was able to get back on top and hopefully secure my first ever solo Grandmaster.
We're back in business.
I made sure to save my super when she was low HP, made sure to only shoot one Ted at a time, not to be stuck in the air in the animation for too long and get punished because of it, and there it was. The last Tether connected, and I have done it. The boss was dead. I was filled with excitement and proudness having completed my first ever full solo Grandmaster Nightfall. Unfortunately, I couldn't get back inside the boss room, so my loot went to the postmaster. It didn't matter to me. I finally done it. After many failed attempts, different loadouts, and brainstorming sessions with my Twitch chat, it was done. And that's how I did it. I hope you enjoyed this video, as I was very nervous making it since I've never wrote a script before. Always had live commentary, but for this one, I wanted to go all out. I hope I was able to entertain you while also maybe making you want to do a solo GM yourself. I want to thank you all for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.